Hello!
Hello!
We are back. We've been traveling. We haven't been making any episodes.
But as the market's interesting, we're coming back with some more content.
Yes, exactly. So, President Trump announced Liberation Day for America last week with reciprocal tariffs against many countries. How is this affecting the markets?
I mean, this is big news. So, with Liberation Day, this is when America is set free from the current global financial system. And part of it is that America, as the global superpower and reserve currency, they've decided, well, sometimes, they should kind of give back a bit. And how they give back a bit is they allow other countries.
Yes, they allow other countries to continue.
Is they allow other countries to impose tariffs that are one-sided. So they put a tariff on goods, services coming from America into their country. But America doesn't impose the same tariff on them, going for goods, services coming from their country into America. And actually, Liberation Day is all about America imposing the same tariffs that are put on them, on other countries. So everyone's trying to guess what is the plan here. The plan may be that they just want to force other countries to drop all their tariffs and have zero tariffs from both sides. And what we're seeing already is Vietnam have decided to impose zero tariffs, and America will do the same. And Argentina also have followed. And so we may see a lot of negotiations over the next few weeks, and that may be the end game. The other end game could be that actually it is what has been said before, which is that Trump wants to raise enough money from tariffs that he can then give Americans earning less than $150,000 a year 0% tax, which would be crazy change in the local tax system in America and would have consequences for global trade. This uncertainty as to what's happening, how long is tariffs going to last, what's the effect for supply chains for companies all over the world, has been bringing the stock market down, has also been bringing crypto down, and Bitcoin's hovering around 82K, Ethereum around 1,800, Solana around $120. And we're thinking, okay, is there more downside? There probably is more downside. Markets don't look very good right now. We need to wait it out. Could be next 30 days or so we start to really see a bottom form. It could be longer. And I think right now it's just about remaining agile, watching what's happening in the market, responding quickly if we do see any big announcements coming out. But yeah, that's really the state of the market right now. And it's not just an American story. You're seeing China responding by raising tariffs against America aggressively. And then you're also seeing the EU say they're going to take 4 weeks to analyze the situation and then respond with their measures. And so potentially we're seeing escalation of trade wars globally. And if that really happens, like over the next several months, then, it's looking like goodbye stock market and crypto for the rest of 2025.
Okay, so this is all about macroeconomics. What about crypto specifically?
Yes, good point. So, right now, I think macroeconomics is dictating everything. Crypto is a risk-on asset. So when there is a lot of uncertainty in the markets, then you're seeing crypto sell off. And people say Bitcoin will one day be the safe haven like gold. Gold is increasing right now as the safe haven asset should, but Bitcoin is definitely not acting like that yet. Maybe it gets there one day, but it's still viewed as risk on right now. I think with crypto, we probably see more selling because we're going to see more selling in the stock market. And Bitcoin itself does look very strong, but what I think it probably is stock market sells off first, because actually a lot of the participants in the stock market are not retail, but they're like institutions. And institutions are quicker to cut their positions because they have stricter risk management procedures. Whereas retail obviously decides when they sell themselves, and usually they sell when they really get panicked or when they're forced to sell through some margin calls and liquidations. And what I think we will see is probably Bitcoin move down and the rest of the altcoins move down again in the next week or so with forced selling as the broader markets move, and that's going to bring them down further. And maybe that's the time when we say, okay, it's a good time to buy a little bit.
So do you think in 2025 the crypto is going to reach an all-time high again, the crypto market?
Yeah, so actually there's very few cryptos that have reached all-time highs, right? You've seen Bitcoin go to all-time highs, but a lot of the altcoins haven't. I do think there will be a move to all-time highs for altcoins generally, as well as probably Bitcoin. I think we are setting up the stage for an explosive move upwards. You're seeing global liquidity increase, you're seeing the US dollar starting to weaken, you're seeing interest rates go down globally. There are the conditions for this to happen. The main thing is it can't happen where there's still uncertainty around tariffs. As soon as that resolves, I think we do see an explosive move upwards. Whether that happens in a month or 3 months down the line, who knows? But I think we probably do see a big move up at some point in 2025. I do think that a lot of supporters of Trump are big financial market participants. They're all not going to be happy if this continues for the rest of the year. So I do think it's probably more short term. We need to wait out this pain, wait for the right moments to buy, and then everything's going to be fine. We can't just buy the dip of the dip, the dip of the dip of the dip, and then the dip of the dip. Yes. We gotta, I think, be a bit more careful because it can just keep dipping. Actually, it's probably good to sell out of some big positions and wait for the dip of the Dippidi dip and then buy in there. And of course it's hard to know where that is, but that's where macroeconomics is the guide, and I think macroeconomics right now is still saying too much uncertainty.
So what specifically would you be buying?
As I said, I probably would sell out of some big positions. The reason is, you could maybe buy 30% more of some positions lower, and I still feel that there's a chance there to do that. I would just, when we see those dips, which could happen even this week, right?
Those Dippidi dips.
Those Dippidi dips, I would be buying only things that you think are going to last for the next 3 to 5 years in case things get worse, and also because we don't know when the market will recover. And if it takes 3 to 6 months, like a lot of projects are going to die and run out of money, and those tokens aren't coming back. So I would stick to the majors. I would stick to big things like Bitcoin, Solana, some of the other L1s like Sui, Say, Near, BitTensor. These projects, I think, they're going to be around. You invest at these prices, you're definitely going to make money. They're not going to disappear. I think that's
it's a wrap.
A wrap for this episode.
Everyone's saying that this 2025 has not been what they expected, and I agree, it's not what we've been expecting, but maybe there's a bigger plan. God's plan.
The dippity dip.
But is there going to be a dippity dip? Dip. A dippity dip.
Yes.
Say bye.
Bye.